Hello everyone, and good Friday to you. Thank you so much as always for being a part of the program. Don't go anywhere. Don't take too much time to blink, because we are going to be hard pressed to squeeze in 3 top stories that I have this evening in the time frame allowed. We'll be covering tonight the Trail Town designation of Royalton earlier today. We'll also cover yesterday's McGoffin County Fiscal Court meeting, in which 2 discussions will be our main focus, that of tax rates and the McGoffin County Public Library Board. We'll pick it up in Royalton at the former Sublette Trailhead. At the site of what used to be known as the Sublette Trailhead, I'll elaborate more in just a few moments. Today's special dedication saw Royalton advance ahead of 29 other communities in the application process and see it join 9 other official and certified trail towns in the state after completing a project in record time that will forever change the economic and geographic landscape of the area it surrounds of the Dawkins Trail, with all phases of this trail to be completed sooner than later.
The First Lady and I have worked hard to find ways not only for all of us to enjoy all of this scenic beauty, but to turn it into an economic advantage for us, to turn it into more jobs for us, more money coming into the state by bringing tourists from all over the country and all over the world. Now, here with this Dawkins Line Rail Trail, the longest such trail in the state, we have found a winning formula, folks. This is a winner. Not only is it going to be a winner, it's already a winner. I know there was some anxiety. I know there was some anxiety at the beginning. People had doubts and fears, but I think we've turned those doubts and fears into hopes and dreams. And we're about to turn those hopes and dreams into the reality of what can happen when we come together and make something like this happen. We're here today to celebrate another milestone, the soon-to-be completed 2nd phase of this trail. As you all know, 18 miles of the trail was finished during phase 1, and that ran and runs from Hager Hill in Johnson County to Royalton in McGoffin County. Now phase 2, which will be finished next month, takes the Dawkins Line from this Sublette Trailhead to the Carver Tunnel on the Breathitt County line. It adds about 6 miles of trail, and it includes the construction of the trailheads here and in Johnson County. I'm excited to tell you that construction has already begun on phase 3, the final 12 miles that will complete the entire 36-mile Dawkins Line. Phase 3 will take the trail 1 mile past Evanston in Breathitt County and will include a path through the Carver Tunnel. Now, for those of you who don't know about the Carver Tunnel, it's 1,500 feet long. We've been told that it will be the first collapsed rail tunnel to ever be recommissioned in this fashion. When it's finished, it will be the 4th longest tunnel to be converted from rail to trail in the southeast United States, and it'll be the 12th longest in the entire United States. So it's going to be a truly unique feature to add to an already very special project.
You know, our idea of trails all across Kentucky and how we can highlight those has come with a program that we call the Trail Towns. This is a wonderful opportunity for the community to really invest itself. And it's a process, as many of you know, that have been working on this. A lot of paperwork, a lot of checkoffs that have to be made along the way. But you've done it. And this will be, for you, an incredible opportunity, because you're going to capitalize on the Dawkins Line. Those folks, when they come to visit, they're going to need a place to eat, a place to stay, a place to have their bike repaired, a place to get feed for their horses. We're going to need all of these types of businesses to develop. And we're also going to need for people to know about Royalton and the Dawkins Line and all of our Kentucky Trail towns. So, today, thank you, Secretary Stewart, for allowing me to do this one. This one's really special to me.
Victoria would have killed me.
Yeah. Royalton is now Kentucky's 10th official trail town. Now let me say that Royalton has probably done their work the fastest of any of our trail towns to date on getting the materials together. That's what these green shirts are all about. You know, if you ever needed to know who are the movers and shakers about getting this this whole trail town put together, as well as so much of the Dawkins line, look at your green shirts in the room. And Victoria, what can we say? You always need a leader, and you are certainly it. So everyone in this community and everybody in the state thanks you and your team.
We have come such a long, long way in the past 8 years in how we develop and market Kentucky's adventure tourism, and we really have the First Lady to thank for that. She has been, as you know, a tireless advocate for trail development, but really adventure tourism in general. She is, and will continue to be, even after she leaves office, the best salesperson we could possibly have for outdoor adventures in Kentucky, and we're just getting started. We owe her a huge debt of gratitude for the time, effort, and passion that she's put into bringing Kentucky's adventure tourism efforts to where we are today. We are poised for greatness. We are right there, and the momentum will not be denied. We're moving forward.
And to show their and our appreciation for all of her efforts and dedication throughout the years for tourism across Kentucky and in Magoffin County and Eastern Kentucky, the Governor and Secretary of Tourism have unveiled the new name of the Jane Bashir Trailhead.
From this day forward, this trailhead is being renamed to the Jane Bashir Trailhead at Royalton.
It just goes to show that the commitment of the community can really make things happen. If it were not for this group of people, this committee, in their green shirts, that we wouldn't be here today, because it does take a community to embrace a program like this. You know, they will be the people that will host the guests, the tourists that come to visit. So their commitment was a major part of this whole effort.
You know, it's exciting because it's showing that folks here in Eastern Kentucky understand that we've got to branch out. You know, we've suffered some pretty tough losses in the coal industry, and while coal is going to always be with us, I don't think it's ever going to employ the number of people that it used to employ, and so we're all working to diversify our economy and to have different kinds of jobs and more entrepreneurship here, and these communities have come together and embraced that idea of growing our economy and making it more diverse and bringing people in from all over the country and all over the world to spend their money right here in Eastern Kentucky on adventure tourism, and we're all going to benefit for that.
Indeed, we will. A special thank you to our Royalton Rail Trail Committee, the Bashirs, First Lady and the Governor, and all those who were a part of forever changing such a major part of Eastern Kentucky and Magoffin, and of course what will also include Johnson and Breathitt counties. I'll be right back with other headlines after this. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. There were two main topics of discussion in yesterday's special session of the Magoffin County Fiscal Court: tax rates and the Library Board. We'll begin with the first, that being discussion of personal property tax rates. This was to be a second reading of sorts. However, some discrepancies in numbers that were presented last time and voted on prompted further discussion. The next item on the agenda was setting personal property tax rates. During the last meeting, Judge Hardin made a motion to accept the compensating rate, which is a rate set by the state to generate the same amount of tax revenue from the year prior. That meant that real estate taxes would go to 43.6 cents per $100 of valuation, and tangible/personal property taxes would go to 87.08. And as I reported the night after that meeting, that meant that real estate was seeing an increase of 6.4 cents, and the tangible personal property tax went up more than 31 cents. Magistrate Matthew Wyman informed me the following day that in checking with the state that there was an error and the limit actually should have been set at 71 cents instead of that 87 cents. The increase, whatever it actually is in large part due to about $20 million of coal operations pulling out of the county. Judge Hardin then made a motion to set, instead of the 87.08 cents as they did during the last meeting, to adjust it to the state now recommended 71.31 cents.
That's the maximum rate.
Is there a second? Next item on the agenda.
I would like to make a motion that we adopt the personal property rate at 65.8 cents per 100. That is an increase, but not quite as much as what we've done before, what you've done, and we can do on the real estate, keep it exactly the same. 78% of our property is real estate. I don't see us taking another, if we levy this 43.6, that's the calculated compensating rate, which is a combination of both real and personal property. We're going to pull another $200,000 out of the pockets of the real estate owners in this county. The personal property and the tangibles and those things, those are a lot of your PSCs, and I believe that we'd be better served having a 9.8 cent increase on them than leaving real estate alone. And it generates the same amount of money.
So, can I ask the question? So, what are you proposing on, are you saying on the personal to leave it at its current rate?
No, I'm saying to levy personal at 65.8, which is less than the maximum rate of 71.
Okay.
And the real estate at 37.2, which is what it was last year.
Which is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, those are two different motions. You have to,
well, I'll make a motion we levy.
The chair doesn't recognize that motion. The motion has to be concerning one item only.
On the personal property tax.
One item only. Do you want to address the one item or address that one item?
That's the word I'm working on.
On the personal.
Okay, so
that's what he's addressing.
You can only address that. You put
Okay, I'll make a motion we adopt the personal property tax at 65.8 cents per month.
And how much will
That would generate $490,842.
at what percent collection?
But you base this on 100%. There's no basing it on. You have to. That's the way the rates are calculated. Is that not right?
That's right. That's.
So, but what you're saying is you believe we'll get a...
No, I know you don't, but you don't base tax rates on 100. You base it based on what the law says.
You base budgets on it.
You don't budget on that, no. I don't
budget on what?
You budget on what you think you're going to actually collect. Well, there's fallacies in the law.
So I understand your motion. You're making a motion. How much do you think that will take out?
Take out of what?
How much do you think we'll have less?
On the personal property, it's hard to say because those come and go, and you're liable to get them all one year, and you're liable to get half of them. And then the next year, you'll get them all because they filed appeals and everything else. It's just a process.
So will that reduce things like my office equipment business?
That will reduce it down from the 71, yes. The rate that you proposed, this is a decrease, yes it is.
So we're not talking about like
homes. We're not talking about homes, we're not talking about boats, we're not talking about all those things. People tend to think that personal property is your boats. Those stay with the clerk at her office.
So we're talking about things like Dr. Hardin's equipment, common conveyors equipment.
Exactly.
The nursing homes equipment.
Exactly. And we're talking about the light pole lines and all those things with the public utilities, which is 60% of this anyway.
So how does reducing the utilities help the county?
It's not. What reducing it from 71 to 65. The reason that we can do this is that the assessments on real property did increase. So the bulk of if you had no changes in your assessment on your real estate, then you will pay exactly the same. Now, if the PVA increased your assessment or you've got new property, then you're going to pay.
Or you go in and raise it like you did yours. I want to compliment you, by the way. The only man I know that went and raised his taxes from $35,000 assessment to $85,000. You ought to get a standing hand. You think you're prepared to run?
I've been in contact with PVA for that for years.
Sound like you getting ready to run for county judge or something. Good preparation.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So later we're going to talk about reducing the property taxes.
No, we keep it the same.
So that since you raised your assessment, you won't have to pay the extra much. Pretty good move. You're good at numbers.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Is there a second?
Hardin said he wanted to keep the rate at 71 cents, and he said he would amend his motion to say that if it collected more taxes than last year, the extra will be split between the local and county fire and rescue departments. Wireman said he would agree to that if the judge would commit to keeping the real estate taxes when those were discussed at the same rate as last year and not increase them, to which Hardin said he would talk about that when they got to that item. For a vote, Hardin and Rooster Reisner, Magistrate of District 1, voted against Wireman's motion. The judge then made the motion, as he said, to take the increase to 71.31 cents with the condition that any extra be split between first responders and local fire departments. The judge and Magistrate Reisner voted yes, Magistrates Wireman and LeMaster voted no, with the end result being anyway that the rate defaulted to that 71.31 cents, which will now go into effect. And then it was time to set real estate property taxes.
Motion to keep it the same as it was last year, 37.2.
I'll second.
I would make the motion that we that we keep it the same as last year with the following amendment. That if this does not generate enough money, that we already prioritize the reductions in services because we have extra things to pay for. We may not have the money, and so that we don't have to in the future decide where they come from. I would like to amend your motion, and I will pledge to vote for your motion if the following priority of reduction if we come up short in money is utilized. 1, Civil War. 2, December Parade. 3, any future contributions to the Founders Day. 4, City County Park. 5, Senior Citizens. 6, Fire Departments and Insurance. 7, Rescue Squad and Insurance. 8, Sheriff's Department deputies. 9, any bridge match for future bridge. And 10, any state and federal contracts that require a match in the future. So it's second to my amendment. I have an amendment to your motion. I'm glad y'all vote for your motion if you'll go along with my amendment.
And what your amendment is saying that if we don't collect our property
we don't
taxes,
have enough in the future, if we come up short, that we've already got a plan. See, I apologize to the citizens in McLaughlin County for my contribution in hiring my administrative assistant. I don't have any problem having done it. I think it was legal. And so I think I have the right to do it. And he has proved valuable in doing it. I said at the time, and I'll say again, when you pay your time, you've got a right. I know I'm not very interesting to you, but you please listen. You have a right, once you've served your time, to come back into the community. Mr. Sayer doesn't have a right. There's a whole lot of other families that have family members that don't have a right to do that.
And following that motion by Hardin was a long and contentious discussion that came to a vote on Hardin's motion, with Hardin and Magistrate Reisner voting yes, Magistrates Wireman and LeMaster voting no, with Hardin afterwards advising Wireman that without passing his motion, they were giving the judge full authority to lay off whomever he chooses to try to reduce costs. The next motion and vote was on a motion made by Magistrate Wireman to keep the tax rate as it was last year. That came to the same 2-2 tie. The next motion was that for a call for recess by Judge Hardin, and that too came to a 2-2 tie, with the judge and Magistrate Reisner voting in favor of a recess and the other two magistrates voting nay. Following that was basically 7 minutes of silence in a standoff. The sound of silence that ended with the acceptance of district tax rates as was proposed by Judge Hardin. All voted yay. We'll find out those tax rates and go over those sometime next week. That's all the other taxing districts within the county, library, extension, other such entities. As for the real estate property tax rates, as there was no vote to set them one way or the other, I believe, it's my understanding, that like the other tax rate, given the fact that there was not an approval to an exact figure, that after a certain time frame, I believe possibly 30 to 45 days, that the compensating rate will automatically take effect by default. That's still under inquiry by Your News Today. I'll be right back with more headlines and the library board discussion during the meeting right after this. Going back to coverage of the Magafa County Fiscal Court meeting, given the still ongoing plans of the Magafa County Public Library Board to tear down the old Sagersville First Baptist Church, the Magafa County Judge Executive and the Fiscal Court have called into question the possible legalities facing the Library Board, considering what they say are the possibility of expired terms of more than one of its members. And that was a question that seemed to center around members serving more than 2 consecutive terms and their terms being expired. County Attorney Greg Allen advised that KRS said that a term was to be for a 4-year period and that library board members could serve no more than 2 consecutive terms, after which they should not or shall not succeed themselves. Hardin said that he had learned that board members, at least 2 board members, had expired terms, those Reva Whitaker, whose second term ended on May the 31st of 2014, and Kim Rudd, whose ended on May the 31st of this year. And with some heated discussion from the audience, further discussion by the fiscal court, Judge Hardin made a motion to seek verification through the county attorney and the state.
I just like to know where the 3,000 people were when that church went in and went for sale.
We're here now.
It's like you said.
We're here now.
Well, I've never seen 3,000.
We were all being told that it was going to be the new library all the 7 years.
All the 7
All
years.
the 7 years.
You drive by a building
No.
that's, we've been saving money trying to get money to
Is
this.
there a picture?
You drive
Is there-
by and you see a sign.
The sign says that it's going to be
Okay, is that what it takes? If I'd left the sign there for 20 more years, would you have been satisfied with the
Yeah.
building
But
rot
the
down?
state told them to bring
That's
it
my
down, and
point
they wouldn't bring
exactly.
it
It
down.
can rot down, but you can't knock it down.
Well, there's a strong opinion here on this, so
The man
are
above.
you telling me
The
that,
man above has
that
nothing.
we could ask for the guidance from the state saying if they recognize them before we proceed? Then I withdraw my motion and form the following motion. That we, as the physical court, ask that no further contracts or action be taken on the proposed new library until we have received clarification on the question proposed from the county attorney on our behalf to the state, saying, or do you recognize these as the library board members? And you would report back to us. If that request is not abided by, then you are instructed to file a call for injunction until we receive that information. That's my motion. Is there a second? I second. The motion is that we will act with the county attorney, will contact written, or I guess you can send written, to ask them, ask them, do you recognize these board members as the official body that can function? Send that back to us. He will then relay it to me, and if any action happens until then, he is to file an injunction until he gets that action. It's been seconded. Any questions, comments?
Is that the legal avenue we need to go to now, Greg? Is it pertaining to where they're?
I think you need to find out first who the state recognizes who's on this board right now. We're hearing from conflict of interest here, but I'd like to hear who the state recognizes down there. That's still to be approved.
And we get a check with them. If they recognize it, then I'm going to be checking out what he says.
And what would the injunction be?
Stop until we get that
Clarification?
Yeah, just waiting for clarification. And then he will present that to me, and I will act accordingly, either by calling a special meeting or acting on whatever they say.
So basically what we're saying is that the motion is that we're going to validating their positions. And if, when they come back with that, we're going to report to you, and then we'll have a special meeting, and you'll file whatever paperwork to stop it if they are valid.
If they are valid, then they're valid. Then I have for them, we can look, we can amend the motion to say if we're going to proceed, that we ask that you put an injunction. That was my original motion. I don't have.
We just need to clarify that.
Yeah, I don't understand what the injunction is and then what the basis.
I personally would like to say until we figure this out. But that's really what I was asking to say. Are they valid, since you're saying question? This really addresses my question. But we still need to go ahead and submit those names. And are they names from every community spread throughout the county?
Yes.
There needs to be, there's 5 of them. There needs to be one, at least one from each magistrate's district. And I don't think we're going to. So whatever we have now, all I'm asking is to say, get all, we're the ones now. May, his is valid, Tracy's is valid, so we have one.
Ronnie Gullets is valid.
So we have district 1 and 2. You're in 2, aren't you?
Yeah.
2. We have district 1 and 2 covered. We don't have any back from district 3. I'd respectfully request that at least one person be in from district 3 in those. Okay. Motion been made second. Any discussion?
Is that right? Since the public's really interested in this, is that agreeable with the public to do this?
I'd just like to say one thing. I was here several months ago when we did the 90 days. The board has done everything to appease the so-called 3,000 people. We've paid money, you know, we've offered to sell it. It's for sale. If anybody wants it, it's for sale. I've heard that, you know, you can donate money to hire an attorney, you can take money for this and that, but no one wants to come and buy it. But it is for sale. So
Why would we buy something that the public owns? I own it, you own it, everybody owns it.
There you go. There you go.
Because,
now you're talking.
Because I was told by the state senator, he promised me, and I have no reason to doubt him, that he had talked to John Short and the Speaker of the House, and the money would be there to pay off the city's debt. And the city says, if you pay the debt off, then we'll trade with you. And that's buying it in a way.
Sweet.
Because I'm assuming there's not another place, because I'll go, well, me and Rooster, I guess he would go along. If that won't work, we'll do a trade and end up with the one up there at the Parkway.
Either one of those solutions.
Any one of those two.
Probably better.
And then we would have 2 buildings where people could work.
Well, the senator says that the senator is interested in trying to get some college education courses from Big Sandy in the library too.
You mean the church? And they over here? Okay.
We do it over there. Nobody's promised me they'll give it. They've not even told me they'll give money to stripe the parking lot if it's not there. Okay, motion been made second. Any further question? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carries.
And only time enough for a brief thanks. Thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of the program. Have a wonderful and safe weekend, and we'll see you back here Monday for more of Your News Today. Good night, and thank you for watching.